Hello, we're Team 11, and we're going to be presenting to you the company Procter & Gamble today. For today's agenda, we will be covering the company's narrative, the story that they're telling consumers, and any challenges that are associated with that narrative. We'll also be diving into key issues that the company is facing and the internal and external stakeholders. To finish up, we will talk about bridging the gap in communication. Procter & Gamble really focuses on saying the story that they're making every day better with small and meaningful interactions with their products. They have trusted quality products for past generations as well as future generations. They prioritize making a difference with the climate and sustainability through various practices in what they're innovating for their future products and packaging. And they also focus on employee value, making sure that their employees know that they're valued, that they are also bringing in talent from a wide range of attributes. And next, I'm going to hand off to Dante to speak to our narrative challenges.
Thank you, Chantel, for passing it over. Yes, as she was saying, I will be speaking on the narrative challenges that Procter & Gamble face. As she was saying, Procter & Gamble is a very credible company, and it's very globally known, but it does have its challenges, and I do want to talk about those challenges. Some of those challenges the companies face is expansion. Procter & Gamble, it does have a strong presence in developed countries, but it does have an opportunity to increase its presence in underdeveloped countries and markets like Latin America, where the consumer demand for consumer products is increasing. Procter & Gamble can face economic downturn and economic uncertainty where inflation is on the rise, and that's where Procter & Gamble can be potentially exposed as consumer spending on goods tends to decrease during these uncertain times. Procter & Gamble is very reliant and dependent on its popular products as shown in this slide with Bounty, Charmin, and Dawn soap. However, P&G does have a is very known for popular, well-known products for every day. However, the company is financially dependent on those products, and Procter & Gamble could take a major hit if one of those popular products experience a decline in sales. And then the consumer goods, this is just an image of this is just an image of the sales of the consumer of Procter & Gamble going down and failing year after year. Thank you. And I'm going to pass it to Brett to discuss about key issues.
Thank you, Dante. As you said, my name is Brett, and I will be talking about the key issues that Procter & Gamble currently face. So they face many issues regarding the environment and the way that they treat it. The two major ones that go hand in hand are deforestation in North America and the endangering of species. Recently, they faced major issues regarding the way that they get their wood pulp and palm oil for their paper products, such as Bounty paper towels and Charmin toilet paper. However, they are certified by the Forest Stewardship Council, so everything that they do to get their wood pulp and palm oil from these forests and trees, and everything that they do to make up for the deforestation that they cause, is certified through the Forest Stewardship Council. In an article by Reuters, they talk about how P&G recently just dropped their pledge to stop buying pulp from already degraded forests. And revoking a policy like this could have a major negative impact on consumers and stakeholders. The effect that deforestation has on the environment is pretty massive. They're taking away habitats for animals, causing them to leave the area and go find a new place to live. And they can contaminate waterways in their drinking water that can cause these animals to die or other surrounding nature to die as well. Procter & Gamble has combated this problem by coming out and saying that for every one tree that they use to make products, at least two are regrown. The only issue with this is that it will take years for the forest to fully recover to what it once was. By then, these animals affected will already be gone, causing overpopulation in other areas and relocating to different places throughout North America. As Dante hinted or talked about, P&G does have many different products that are popular on store shelves, and some consumers have been worried about their products' packaging and the sustainability of it. However, P&G has committed to either having reusable or recyclable packaging by 2030, according to a blog on their website. This is a major step to making the company more sustainable and is a good sign to investors, stakeholders, and consumers that the company is headed in the right direction to combat these environmental issues that they face. Next, I will be handing it over to Dallas, who unfortunately could not be here tonight, to talk about the internal stakeholders and how we identify, understand, prioritize, and communicate with them. And we will be playing a short little video where he will be going more in depth on that.
Hey, I'm Dallas, and I'm here to talk about an internal stakeholder within the company. We must first identify a stakeholder that is affected by this issue, and in this case, is going to be the shareholders, or known as investors. Since the stakeholder is internal, they are directly affiliated with the company and affect them greatly. Shareholders influence the market's valuation and the capital of the customer's goods. When it comes to understanding why shareholders may be concerned when it comes to deforestation and the endangerment of species, we have to look at it from their perspective, kind of step a foot in their shoes and see what they're seeing. Shareholders show great concern that their PG stock may drop, with the world finding out that P&G are kind of going against their own pledge, stop deforestation. They're kind of counteracting what they promised not to do. Shareholders hold a decent amount of power with the company and need to be involved more when it comes to making decisions at this level. They show legitimacy by investing into P&G, and these investments help create new products or future projects they may have coming up or they're looking at doing in the future. These investors' profits are determined by the success that the company has. The best way to get these engagements with the shareholders is to have full transparency or clarification with them. We want to make sure that we have explained the reasoning behind wanting to do this action and showing honesty on why this action is needed. Even though this is shortly affecting the shareholders at the current moment, the shareholders at the end of the day have a long-term goal that they want to achieve, and communicating helps with that path. For an example, P&G could help explain why they went against the word and started deforestation. They can try to find different alternatives for deforestation. An example for that would be one of their products they make is toilet paper, and that is being made from virgin pulp. And instead of using this material, they could be using recycled materials, and this would massively cut down the deforestation and keeping their vision they have honest. Thank you. Hey.
All right, next, thank you, Dallas, for that. Next, I'll talk about our external stakeholders. Our first step is to identify key external stakeholders. A reminder that since these stakeholders are external, they are not directly affiliated with the company, but are still affected by them in many ways. The most relevant external stakeholder are the consumers and the suppliers. Consumers of Procter & Gamble's products are a wide range of people that come from various demographics and backgrounds. They are, in essence, anyone who trusts the Procter & Gamble name and chooses to consume their products. Our next external stakeholder is the suppliers. Suppliers provide Procter & Gamble with the raw materials necessary for them to create their affordable and reliable products. Next, it is important we understand these stakeholders to see how Procter & Gamble aligns their business model to cater to their needs. Consumers are the most significant external factor because they help determine revenues and profits. The interests of this stakeholder group include reasonable prices that suit the quality and features of consumer goods. Procter & Gamble satisfies these interests through extensive market research. For example, the company's external focus involves research regarding consumer preference and needs. The resulting data is then used to develop programs for corporate social responsibility, such as programs for sustainability based on consumer preferences for sustainable firms. The next stakeholder we must understand is Procter & Gamble suppliers. Suppliers are firms that provide the materials and that Procter & Gamble uses to manufacture consumer goods and to maintain business process. These stakeholders are interested in growing and creating a mutually beneficial relationship with the company. Suppliers are significant in influencing Procter & Gamble's profits and business stability. As part of the company's external focus, these stakeholders' interests are satisfied through a corporate social responsibility strategy that involves business development support for all parties. For example, the company addresses its corporate citizenship objectives by providing valuable information that enhances suppliers' process and ensures supply chain stability. Next, it is important to see how Procter & Gamble prioritize these two external stakeholders. First, when it comes to consumers, it is without a question that they are the number one priority. The company believes that a superior understanding of consumers and their needs ensures business effectiveness in addressing market needs. This is because the consumers essentially set the price points and generate profits. Therefore, they are considered the boss. As far as suppliers are concerned, they are also among the top of the priority list. This is shown by their annual external supplier recognition summit that is held once a year. The objective of the annual summit is to recognize and celebrate those key contributors who have demonstrated partner excellence. This year, more than 350 companies and agencies were represented at the awards dinner. This brings us to the final step, which is communication between P&G and its external stakeholders. A good example of how P&G communicates with its consumers is their corporate citizenship initiatives that employ a wider perspective on consumers. The aim is to identify consumers' interests even beyond the consumer's goods market. Efforts like this make Procter & Gamble's corporate responsibility strategy comprehensive in satisfying the interests of their stakeholders group. Lastly, we turn to the suppliers and how they communicate with Procter & Gamble to influence future growth. As mentioned, the annual supply summit is a time for suppliers to communicate with top executives from P&G to help with this future growth. The chairman of the board, Bob McDonald, believes that in order to improve the lives of everyone, there must be a solid open line of communication between Procter & Gamble and its over 80,000 suppliers. And next, we have Kevin. He will present on his video on communication and objectives.
The communication objectives, it is key to bridge the gap between two divergent narratives of the company. And the two narratives that we have gathered are motivation and knowledge. With motivation, we can inspire workers and consumers both, and also stakeholders, to heed the call of expectation and increase not only company productivity, but also community productivity. By that, we mean we can not only inspire workers to work harder and get more things done, but we can also inspire the community to purchase all the goods that we produce in order to improve their everyday lives. And that is also what Procter & Gamble aims to do, to change and improve the daily lives of everyday people with the smallest gestures. The second factor would be knowledge, which would drive a further and better understanding of why certain things happen within the company structure and why certain products are being pushed out and innovated in the way that they are. And just from small to big changes within company structure. So Procter & Gamble only seeks to improve and not to hinder the knowledge and motivation of all company staff, stakeholders, and consumers.
Right, and that is the end of our presentation. So thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, you can email Logan Rader at arizona.edu, and thank you again.